I'm Elex Michaelson. Tonight, an issue is exclusive. USC's new interim president, Dr. Wanda Austin, is here. This is her first sit-down interview since taking over a university facing multiple scandals. What went wrong, and how is she going to fix it? Also, another issue is exclusive. Oscar winner Mira Sorvino was one of the first to publicly speak out about Harvey Weinstein. Tonight, why she says California needs to pass #MeToo legislation. And hot topics with our panel, Democratic Congressman Brad Sherman and radio hosts Heidi Hamilton and Tim Conway Jr. A packed edition of The Issue Is starts right now. And welcome to The Issue Is. I'm Elex Michaelson. As a USC alum, that song right there is my favorite song. We're excited to have our headlining guest, the interim president of USC, Dr. Wanda Austin. For some background on who she is, she's the former president and CEO of the Aerospace Corporation. She earned a PhD from USC in 1988 and is a member of the USC Board of Trustees. In August, she became the interim president of USC. She's the first woman and the first African-American to lead the university. This is her first on-camera interview since taking that job. Dr. Wanda Austin, welcome to The Issue Is.
Well, thank you so much, Alex, for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Okay, so the reason that you're in this job is because of this scandal involving Dr. George Tyndall. Who has denied any wrongdoing, but is accused by hundreds of patients over the years at USC of sexually assaulting them. What went wrong with Dr. Tyndall, and what are you going to do to fix it?
Thank you. There are a number of issues that we have been addressing in the recent past, and I have to tell you that we are making some course corrections and really focused on how to be better going forward for the university. I think it will give us an opportunity to take advantage of our lessons learned and really maybe be a national leader on higher ed governance, because there are a lot of schools that are facing these issues.
So what went wrong, and I mean, what specifically are you doing differently now?
Absolutely. Happy to share that. I think one of the key issues is communication, to make sure that the university administration is communicating with the entire community, and that the community feels like they can communicate if they see something that they think is not right.
There's now a lot of lawsuits against USC. Gloria Allred representing many of these patients. Let's take a listen to what one of them had to say.
This has been very traumatizing for me, as I've had to relive this horrible experience all over again every day.
So how do you make things right for her and for all of those women?
I have to tell you that as an alum, as a trustee, now as interim president, and as a woman, that in my heart, am really saddened to think that there were women who were not served well on our campus. We have changed the connection for the student Engelman Health Center. It now is connected to our Keck Hospital, so that the standard of care that's being delivered at Engelman has changed. The number of female doctors has changed. We've hired some new doctors. We're focusing on mental health as well as physical health, and Dr. Susan Van Orman is now the director of the Engelman Health Center.
Yeah, there's also some cultural questions, because this wasn't the only scandal. There was also an incident involving the head of the medical school who had raised about $1 billion for the school, but then had some allegations of partying with prostitutes and problems with drugs, and there were questions about his transparency, or USC's transparency in an LA Times investigation. Was there a cultural problem? Was there an imbalance? Did money become too important at USC? Was there a culture of corruption?
I think the cultural issue is one of people being able to raise their hand and say, I think that there's something going on here that's inappropriate, and for it to be heard. And that's because many universities, as is USC, are very siloed in terms of their organizational structure. So we now have a process in place whereby anyone at any level, no matter how much money they raise, if they're doing something that looks inappropriate or not in accordance with our standards of being an ethical institution and integrity, that there's a way to just simply raise your hand and say, hey, I think someone needs to come over and have a look.
Do you think the board fell short in its responsibility in doing that? Do you think the board should have said, something's not right here?
I think the board relies on the management team to do their job. As a board, you come in from a governance perspective, you check, you ask reasonable questions, you look for indications that things are being managed well, and then when you detect that something isn't, as they did this summer, they take action.
Okay, so you're part of the board, now you're running the school. What
Yes.
is the biggest difference now with you in charge versus your predecessor, Max Nikias? How has the school changed now?
My focus right now is on what are the changes that we need to make in order to make sure that we're a university that's focused on excellence. I think that it's important to talk about the values and to make it clear that taking care of our students, our faculty, and our staff is the priority.
Is your bottom line sort of that we got this wrong?
My bottom line is that we're learning. And we're taking those lessons learned and making changes, systemic changes, in terms of our HR practices and organization. We've established an Office of Professionalism and Ethics to make sure that we're communicating consistently across the enterprise about what's expected and how we'll respond. And I think that we're on a path toward really moving forward and being better and stronger.
Your title right now is interim president.
Correct.
Do you want to be permanent president?
I am committed to being the interim president. I'm also committed to supporting the search, the national search for the next president, because I think that USC, being a world-renowned, excellent academic university, deserves to have the benefit of finding the next best president.
But if they said to you, you're doing a great job, we
Yes.
love having you here, will you continue to serve? What do you say?
I would say thank you. I'm happy to serve as the interim president until the next president shows up, and we will, do our best to be the best university that we can between now and then.
So you're not trying for that job?
I am not trying for
Is
that
there
job.
anybody that you want to be in that job?
I think that the search process will find the right candidate.
What are you most excited about that's happening on campus?
I'm excited about our students. Our incoming class is absolutely phenomenal. We have 3,400 of the best, brightest young minds on campus. It is very diverse. We have students from all 50 states. We have a huge number of first-time college goers, first-generation college students. It is diverse. We have a great representation of underrepresented minorities of about 25%. And the kids are just excited. The students are just phenomenal in their abilities.
Speaking of diverse, you're the first African American to lead the
Yes.
school, the first woman to lead the school.
Yes.
What does that mean to you, and what does that mean, do you think, to the students?
So I've been the first in my career in a number of ways. I was the first in my family to go to college, and growing up in the inner city, no one told me that I could be an engineer, that I could run a major corporation, that I could be a university president. But through education, I was able to have those doors available to me. So I think I serve as a role model for many people who are on our campus and in our midst to say, you too can set your goals very, very high and achieve those aspirations.
So part of this is getting to know you. This is people getting to know you for the first time. So we do something on this show called Personal Issues.
Okay.
And we want to put 30 seconds on the clock
All right.
and ask you a series of some fun questions to get to know you a little better. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. What is your favorite book?
Right now I'm reading 3 that I love. Grit. The second one is Return on Integrity and Factfulness. In fact, the importance of getting to the facts.
Wow. Favorite band or musician?
Gregory Porter, obviously.
Favorite USC quarterback?
The one that's going to win.
Good answer. Favorite karaoke song?
21st of September?
Okay, the September. Yes, that's right. Favorite food?
Oh, carrot cake.
And favorite college subject?
Mathematics.
Mathematics, and you are a genius at that. So
Absolutely.
congratulations to that. And it's great to have you here. And we like to play music here
All right.
on The Issue Is. So we had a special song that I think really USC is especially proud of.
All
You
right.
ready for it?
I'm ready.
Listen to it. Listen up. We want to show you some video. This, of course,
Of
is
course.
USC marching band, as they call themselves, the greatest marching band in the history of the universe, playing with Fleetwood Mac, Tusk. So they're the only band with like a #1 hit.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's great. Thank you so
Dr.
much.
Austin, welcome, and as a Trojan, fight on.
Fight on.
All right. Up next, our panel on this week's news. A lot to talk about. Congressman Brett Sherman's here, as well as radio stars Heidi Hamilton and Tim Conway Jr. Hi, guys. They're going to be with us. Stay with us, and as we like to say, fight on. It is the 21st night of September. All those years ago, I think Earth, Wind, and Fire was singing about this very night and this very panel on The Issue Is. Of course. Welcome, guys. Congressman Brad Sherman is here from Sherman Oaks. He's represented the San Fernando Valley in the U.S. House since 1997. He's a senior member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Heidi Hamilton co-hosts the morning radio show Frosty, Heidi, and Frank on KLOS. She also appears on Dish Nation every weekday at 6 p.m. right here on Fox 11. Our returning champion is Tim Conway Jr., the host of Tim Conway Jr. Show weeknights from 6 to 10 p.m. on KFI AM 640. Ding dong.
Let's go.
Let's go.
That's right.
Let's talk about what we just saw, which was the interim USC president. It was her first interview talking about the scandal, the first time the schools really addressed it. What did you think?
Well, you know, as a woman, I'm all about girl power. I'm real excited about this. And the whole time I'm watching her, and I've been reading a lot about her as well, is, you know, they call her the interim president. But my question is, and I don't know if this is legit or not, but if she does a really good job, is there a chance that it's like, do you just want to stick around?
Yeah, well,
You're doing great.
She said no.
Well, I'm all about girl power as well. And I asked her, do you have the power to get me tickets to the Notre Dame game? And she said no.
So you're not a fan now. You're not on board now.
And I'm a Bruin, so I don't want to see the Notre Dame game.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Let's talk about the big story of the week, and that involves Christine Blasey Ford, whether she's going to testify or not. Congressman, what are your thoughts on where things are at on that right now?
Well, they're pretty close, and I think she'll ultimately testify. The Senate Republicans want Wednesday. She wants Thursday. She wants Kavanaugh to go first. I think she'll give in on that because the tradition in our society is the accuser goes first or the prosecution goes first. And the real question is whether she'll insist on other witnesses because there were supposedly 3 people in the room. And why are we only going to talk to 2 of the 3 people in the room?
Do you think that the fact that she's bringing this up is disqualifying for him?
Bringing it up? No, but we need, if it's true, it's, I mean, I thought he was disqualified to even begin with. I mean, this is the last piece in the puzzle to destroy Roe versus Wade and to hurt our environmental protection and to dig in money in politics. I'm so much against this nomination before this latest development.
Well, here's the thing. Everybody on Kavanaugh's side is saying, you know, this is absolutely, this did not happen. That lady's mixed up. That's one of my favorites. If you're so confident that your guy's innocent, I would say, you know what? Let the FBI investigate. Take all the time you need. Confident. Take the time. Because I would want my guy, if Kavanaugh was my guy, I would want him in there with no stink on him. Right. That he got in legitimately and that there was none of that. So if you're confident, then why not step back? What's the rush? Like, just investigate.
When Bill Cosby was accused, there were 66 women that said he did it and 1 woman that said he didn't, his wife, right? Now there's 75 women that said Kavanaugh could never have done that and 1 woman that said he did, and yet they're both perceived as guilty.
Listen, I will say this. It is tough because we've all, you know, think back, how long ago was that for him, 30 years ago or whatever. It is a he said, she said, no doubt. I mean, I can say something happened 30 years ago. I can't prove it. You can't prove it. But at least talk to all the parties involved and at least do that, due diligence. That way you know that you did ask all the right questions.
You've got to put Mark Judge under oath. This isn't he said, she. There's 3 people we're talking about here. And there is no reason to go too quickly because it's going to take till the end of October to get the 600,000 pages of information about where Kavanaugh stands on the important issues.
Yeah, plus, 30 years ago, you were probably pretty wild, Sherman, right?
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell.
Of course.
Getting out there.
Of course, the reason to go quickly is because of the midterm elections coming up and potential change in this Senate makeup. Okay, so around the table, really quick, yes or no, is Brett Kavanaugh going to be a justice on the Supreme Court?
I have no idea, but I'll tune in Wednesday or Thursday.
No.
I'd say yes. I think he will get by.
All right. Well, coming up next, we want to talk about another big question, which is that of impeachment with President Trump. Is that the right approach for Democrats? Stay with us. See, this is where you get to show off your dancing. Yeah.
I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky tumbling down.
Look at Hollywood, where the Carole King musical Beautiful now playing at the Pantages. And speaking of the earth moving, let's talk about some political earthquakes. Back with our panel right now, Congressman Brad Sherman, Heidi Hamilton, and Tim Conway Jr. Welcome.
Ding dong.
So, Congressman, you have pushed for impeachment. You have introduced articles of impeachment. Some on the Democratic side say that that's not smart politically to talk about right now. Heidi, what do you think?
Okay, so here's what I think about that. I kind of don't want President Trump impeached. I think what Democrats need to do is, instead of focusing on all that stuff, I think we got to focus on finding some really great Democrat to go up against him in the next election. Like, let's not focus so much attention and energy over here. It's like, who are you putting up to go up against him in the election?
Great idea.
That's what I'm more concerned with. It's like, it would almost make him a martyr if he was impeached in my eyes. So as much as maybe that should happen, I kind of don't want it to happen. I want him to just go away because he got his butt kicked by the incoming Democrat.
Look, we have the best economy in decades, 49-year low in people going on to unemployment. Plus, we have the stock market at a record high. And CNN does a whole segment on the shape of his privates. I mean, the people in the Midwest, they're more concerned about the economy than they are what is in Donald Trump's pants.
Yeah, my mom would say, look, I don't care if it's purple, if it's red, blue, yellow, as long as your brother gets a job and gets out of my house, I don't care. And that's true. I'm from Southern Indiana. So, I mean, you're right. You are right.
Congressman,
I introduced articles of impeachment long before anyone else, 18 months ago, and I didn't do it for political reasons. I was as far away from an election as a House member ever gets. Frankly, I think our message to voters now is going to be contain Donald Trump rather than the other message, which would be remove Donald Trump. I think you get more votes with contain.
Around the table, if the Democrats win back control of the House, will Donald Trump be impeached? Yes or no?
Yes, absolutely. That'll be the greatest radio ever.
Heidi?
For such selfish reasons.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll flip on a dime.
Heidi?
I really don't think he'll be impeached. No, I really don't.
He probably won't be impeached because he probably won't be removed. In order to, when people say impeach, that's just the House of Representatives. In order to get 2/3 of the senators to vote to remove, we would need to see Mueller come up with a report beyond. And it's also very tough because a chunk of the electorate is watching the Fox News channel. So with Richard Nixon, the whole country turned together against him, whereas it's going to require an awful lot of evidence to get removal.
Up next, another exclusive. Oscar winner Mira Sorvino is here. She's going to talk about Harvey Weinstein, Me Too, and some new legislation she's championing here in California. Stay with us. Mira Sorvino is a Harvard grad, Oscar-winning actress, and now activist for the Me Too movement. This week, she visited us for an exclusive interview about Harvey Weinstein and California Governor Jerry Brown.
This is the strongest slate of anti-sexual harassment bills in the nation right now.
Actress and activist Mira Sorvino is lobbying California lawmakers.
Right now, everything is stacked for the predator and against the victim. We're just saying, let's make this the safest state in the country for a person to go to work.
Sorvino was one of the first celebrities to publicly accuse Harvey Weinstein of sexual harassment.
I felt I had no choice but to be honest and come forward.
At the time, Sorvino's father said this about Weinstein.
He's going to go to jail.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. That's good for him if he goes, because if not, he has to meet me, and I will kill him.
Harvey Weinstein.
Now, Weinstein is facing criminal charges.
I feel gratified that the justice system is treating him like the criminal that he is.
Sorvino is partnering with equal rights advocates, pushing a series of bills in Sacramento.
I've come to learn that awareness without action is hollow.
SB 1300 bans non-disparagement clauses that have been used to silence workers in the past.
They had no rights. They had no way to get back at this person who had, altered the courses of their lives.
SB 224 makes clear that sexual harassment by film directors, producers, elected officials, lobbyists, and investors is against the law.
This would say it doesn't have to be your direct boss.
AB 1870 extends the deadline for filing sexual harassment claims from 1 year to 3 years. Critics might say this is bad for business and this is going to make California even a worse place to employ people. What do you say to that?
I don't see how it's bad for business to take unscrupulous sexual behavior out of the workplace.
These bills already passed the state Senate and Assembly. California Governor Jerry Brown now has until the end of the month to either sign them or not.
So if you could say one thing to Governor Brown, what would that be?
Governor Brown, I trust that you will do the right thing.
You can listen to the full interview with Mira as a podcast. Just search for The Issue Is wherever you stream. And you can watch it on our brand new Facebook Watch show. Search for The Issue Is with Elex Michaelson on Facebook. Our thanks to Mira and everyone who have said something in the last year and helped to change the world. That's The Issue Is for this week. I'm Elex Michaelson. Have a great weekend and a good night.